our July 18th meeting. I want to welcome everybody to the Oktibbeha County Board of Supervisors meeting. Before we get started, I did want to note some changes on your agenda. Ms. Alan Morgan's presentation will be done by Ms. Farmer, and Gaylyn Williams is not going to be here tonight, so we can mark that one off of the agenda. Okay.
Roxanne Sparks.
I'm
Ms.
sorry?
Sparks Sofa is not here.
Okay, and we'll, if she comes in, we'll move her down, but we'll know that too. Thank you, Supervisor.
Okay, thank you.
So we're going to start the meeting with a prayer. Supervisor Howard, would you like to start us in prayer, please?
Sure. Would you bow your heads, please? This evening, our Heavenly Father, we come to tell you thank you. Thank you for all the many blessings that you've given us. The Heavenly Father, we pray for your wisdom this evening. We pray for your knowledge. The Heavenly Father, we pray that all the decisions that we make will be pleasing in your sight. The Heavenly Father, we ask that you will continue to bless those that stand abroad for our freedom. The Heavenly Father, we pray that you will bless leaders and give leaders wisdom on a national level, on a state level, and on a local level. The Heavenly Father, we pray that you will protect our families while we're away, and when we return home, we'll find everything safe. These and other blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. We now open the floor for citizen comment period. This is a time for citizens to come up. If there's anybody here, you have 3 minutes to speak.
I ain't speaking to you.
You're not? All right. Since there's no one here, we'll move forward, but Ms. Sparks is not here. So we will move down to Duval.
She just called me. She said she'll be in a few minutes.
Okay, all right, so we'll move that one down too. We'll move forward with Ms. Farmer and Alan Morgan's presentation.
Mr. Morgan has one real and one property assessment road change for approval, and I have those copies for you to sign.
I'll make motion for approval on real and personal.
Okay, we got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery. Let's see if we got divided out. One on real property. Second by Supervisor Howard.
Yeah.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. I need a motion on the personal. I got a motion by Supervisor Williams on the personal property. Second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Anything else?
That's it on that one.
Okay, all right. Patrick Warner. Mr. Warner, are you here? Okay.
How's everybody doing?
Very good.
All right, let's see. All right, I got a couple things for business tonight. I think some of them are kind of simple. The first thing you see here is the teletext communications. We got this board approved to buy the 150 radios. It just needs to be some verbiage in this. The state communications will not allow us to buy the radios. They have to approve every radio. They will not let us buy the radios unless we have certain paperwork in, like the board order, and the board order needs to state specifically $293,400. The board order currently now just says that we're going to buy 150 radios. So all I need to do is for the board to state we approve to approve.
We need an order. Who wants to make that motion to buy the radios?
I'll make that motion.
Supervisor Montgomery makes that motion. And what's the brand of the radios?
Kenwood.
Huh, Kenwood.
Kenwood. I'm sorry, I went blank for a minute.
Say that
It
number
needs to
again.
state the specific amount.
The specific amount.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's that amount again?
It is $293,400.
That's for all.
That's for all
of them.
150.
For 150. So the board order is to buy 150 Kenwood radios for $293,400 made by Supervisor Montgomery. I need a second on that motion,
Second.
please. Supervisor Howard seconds the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is the medical bags that you asked me to look into. We got the chief together and the committee together, and we went and decided on what we needed for all these medical bags, the supplies and everything to fully stock them and make sure that the county was prepared if there was a medical emergency. And as you can see here, this is them. This is 15 bags, one for each station, and I just did 15, and the amount was $4,978.65. Now that has been about a week or two, and it's probably, you know, inflation and stuff, and prices might change as, you know, things go up continuously. So it's probably gonna be a little over $5,000, and I just would like to get that board approved, so that way we can supply all our trucks with the medical bag kits that they need.
So move.
Okay, so
Second.
we've got a motion by Supervisor Howard to approve the 15 medical bags for all the trucks.
At 4,000.
We don't need to put
It is-
4,900.
They don't need a specific number on this.
No, we don't
this
need a
particular
specific
board
number.
order.
I just- it's-
They
it's
think
under-
it's gonna be
yeah.
right about $5,000. We just need the order to do that on this particular one.
Just to be safe. I don't think it's
Yeah,
gonna
you
go up,
probably,
but,
it wouldn't hurt to put a price in there, I guess, would it?
sir?
I guess it wouldn't hurt, would it?
Well, he doesn't know. He thinks, he got his quote a couple
Yeah.
of weeks ago. He thinks it could be a little different. So
Yeah.
that's the reason he's reluctant to put the $5,000 on
You'd be
there.
under the purchase.
Yeah, if I'm under 5, I could purchase them, but like I said, I hadn't went to buy them yet. They might go up a couple dollars on a piece of bandage here, a couple dollars there.
Glucose.
And we're right at 5,000. It just wouldn't hurt to get a board approval on it.
Okay. All right, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, the third thing I have here is we've had some buildings that have had building roof leaks. We've had them come out there and repaired on numerous times. Daryl's come out there and he's had 2 contractors come out there and repair them twice. They're still leaking. We've actually had the bay door that opens up the motor. One of the leaks is directly over it, and we've had to replace that motor 4 times already.
Oh.
And they're not cheap. And right now, I tried to look for my picture, but I took it a while back and I couldn't find it. But right now, I went out there myself, and I took some old election signs and I made a teepee on it, and I put that over the bay door motor just to keep it from burning out, so we won't have to be replacing that again, because that's a couple $1,000s for that. So I've got a couple quotes here to replace the roof on some of these buildings. One of them is to coat it, and one of them is to replace it. They're a little high, and I need to get some more quotes, but I want to get
What station are you talking about?
Central and East. They both need their roof replaced,
The whole roof.
the whole roof. Now, they are metal roofs, and I'm going to go and look into this a little bit more, but I want to get your kind of blessings on to repair the
Can you make
roof.
sure too that there wasn't some type, when these were built, some type of guarantee on these structures? I mean, I don't know how long they've been there, but, you know, a lot of times there's some type of warranty or guarantee or.
Back when
I
Ned was a
will.
calf.
Most times,
Really been there 30 years, I bet, I'm sure.
Central has been there a while, I know. It's one of the first ones because it's in the middle. I don't know.
Is it a metal roof?
it's a metal
They're
roof,
both
and
metal.
the metal's not the problem. The metal roofs last forever, but what happens is the screws, they back up and the water gets in between the screws and stuff like that.
And so that's what we had to do, but personally, we just took those screws out. Somebody came back, put a bigger washer with a screw in it,
That's fine.
and we didn't have to replace the whole roof. Is there an option like that?
Well, that's what I want to do. They got a coating now that you can coat it, but the coating is worth more than to replace the roof, which I don't understand. But that's why I just kind of started getting some estimates, and I want to get your blessings to look at repairing it or getting your okay to move forward to repairing it. But I do not know how we're going to repair it yet. I've
Okay,
got
so
to
you
get
just want a
several
board
of
order to investigate fixing the
Yeah,
leak?
and get us some quotes
Get
back.
us
Yeah.
quotes back,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
And
I'll
I had 2 here just to kind of give you an idea of the ballpark of what we're looking at, which I hope we don't have to get down to that, because I'm like you, I just think we should just put new screws in there and put a
Yeah.
caulk over the screws after we put them in there.
Silicone or
I'll
something.
check
Silicone.
on who did ours, because it fixed all of it.
It
Well,
did.
that's
Good.
we need it bad.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you've heard the request. Somebody make the motion.
Motion.
Supervisor Montgomery makes the motion to investigate cost and different options on repairing the roof leaks at Central and East Fire Station. I need a second on that motion, please.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Trainer. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right. On the third one, the last board meeting or the board meeting before, I asked permission to look in maybe possibly getting a demo truck in this year's budget. This current year's budget, I have the money to buy a demo, enough money to get a truck. And the Maven truck, if y'all remember me telling you about it, is unrepairable. It went down, one of the pumpers went down, and it's unrepairable. The cost to repair it's worth more than the truck's worth. So, The problem is though, is you have to order these trucks and it usually takes 8 months to get here. That was then. Now it's taking 22 months to get here. The other issue is that everybody's kind of hurting and backed up, so everybody's buying these trucks now. The companies usually have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 in line demo that they come out with. Well, nobody can get them, so all these fire departments are buying these demo trucks now. This is about the only truck out there right now that's available to get in for the year, and I have looked at it, and it is a nice truck, and it's doable, and it's on state contract. It's a little bit different than the truck we normally get, and I'm kind of leaning toward, I'd like to go this route anyway, but the trucks we normally get are commercial trucks. They're 15-year commercial trucks. You have to replace them after 15 years. This truck is a custom truck, and it's a 20-year truck. It costs a little bit more, but if you do the math, it's actually going to be out cheaper by the time we have to replace it. The commercial truck, the last commercial truck we just bought was $420,000. They're saying this one's going to cost $535,000, but it's a different truck. It's going to look like this. It's not going to look like your typical 18-wheeler truck that we've been getting. This is a custom truck, and it will kind of look like the city trucks that we've been getting. And this will be the first custom truck that the county will purchase. And I think this is the way to go from now on, because like I say, you get 20 years out of it, a little bit better built truck, and it's a better warranty on these trucks.
That's the 20-year on the truck. What about the pumper?
Yes, sir. That's the 20 year. Yes, sir. That's the whole truck.
That's okay.
The rating bureau gives you 15 years, and then it kind of goes out. These get 20 years.
Can you re-up that one too and get another 5 out of it?
We can re-up and get another 5 and get 25 out of it if we need to.
Make a
You've heard
motion.
the request to purchase the truck.
Second.
Supervisor Trainer makes the motion, and Supervisor Montgomery seconds it. Any further discussion in the table? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Can I get something for the board order? I need something to designate what this truck is.
And it's like serial numbers or
Yeah,
whatever you
something.
need to get him
Yes,
prices.
and I don't have that yet because this truck is in line, and he has not sent me I've got to get him to verify this and send all this stuff to me. But I had to get this approved today, because if I didn't, somebody else might
The
get
board
it tomorrow.
is good with me plugging in the serial number for the truck that we're discussing.
And the amount.
And the
Sure,
amount
yeah.
at a later time. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I guess I'm kind of confused as to
Sure.
what budget this gonna come out of
This year's budget.
this year's
This
budget.
year's budget. It will be here. This truck it's already in line, and they're putting it together right now, and it should be here before September
Okay.
31st.
Wow.
And that's good because Maven's got her
And
truck.
that's the other thing. I'm gonna try to make sure they guarantee me that too.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
If not, we might have to
Yeah.
hunt and do something else.
Well, before you close out, however, it's okay?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Sure.
Madam President. When you were here the last time, we talked about the possibility of building a fire station
Yes, sir.
that's on Mohai Road,
Yes, sir.
where we have that land set aside for that. Have you looked into that anymore as a possibility?
I did. I went by Toby Sanford's office, and I tried to get the numbers on the people. And you might have to give me, this is plus or minus 1 or 2. The way that area is right now in the rated district, there's 200 households that are not covered in the district. But it really boils down to about 90 households will not be covered in that district. So if you do put a station out there, there will be 90 households that will be dropping down from a 10 to an 8 automatically, and they'll automatically save on their insurance rating.
Yeah, from 10 to 8.
When I said the 200, right now, and they base this off a 5-mile distance. So the distance between the Octok station there now, and I wish I had a map with me, I could have showed you. There's a little piece down there at the corner where there's 200 households that are not covered. But they're actually getting a rating, even though they're not supposed to right now, of 8. Some of them are, half of them are, which they're not supposed to. So that's a good thing that they're still getting that rating, even though they're not in that 5-mile distance.
Yeah.
But
this
there's
would,
about 90 households that are not getting that rating.
Yeah, but this would legally take care of the
That would legally take
of
care.
the one that is getting the rating. They would be really getting the rating then, like they should.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it would roughly, and just estimations, just off from what I've been talking, it's rough to a new station, probably gonna cost $50,000 to $75,000 for a 2-bay station.
I guess I'm kind of, my wish list, I guess, is that it would be good that that fire station would be storm-proof, would also be a storm shelter built in
Well-
with that, since we out in the area that has no storm protection.
Well, if you did that, the estimates on the station would go a lot more, but I think, Kristen has got plans to maybe putting, one of those domes up right there too,
Right, so
but that would not be a fire
we
station.
couldn't team the two together then.
No, sir. That dome is, that dome is gonna have to be separate because that's if I'm not understanding, that's a grant for it, and it's specifically for it. The fire station would have to be built separate.
Well, no,
If you did decide to
sometime,
apply for the grant for the safe room,
Right.
safe room can be used as a multi-purpose, but it's only a certain percentage of that can be used full-time for something else. So it could
Right.
be a full-time station.
Right.
And then part-time safe room.
yeah,
So you can have it a multi-purpose for events and so forth, but I don't think you can have it
right.
for a full-time, unless you have adequate space for the safe room and this, but the grant usually for the safe room will only cover the safe room itself.
Yeah, right.
But I mean,
But they could be
that's
somewhat
a question
attached.
we could ask and
It
see.
seems like they could be somewhat attached too. I understand that there are different regulations for both bays, but it seems like they could be attached to each other in
Maybe
some
it
way.
should be. That's the question we could
Right.
ask.
That's of course,
I'll
okay,
ask.
okay. All right. Thank you, Kristen, and thank you,
Yes, sir.
Patrick.
Any further?
Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Warren.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Around 50,
I'm sorry.
Round fifty, yeah.
The round, the president needs to sign that.
We need approval to apply for the round 15 rules.
I make a motion that we apply for round 15.
second.
The round 15 gives us money back on the trucks when we buy them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah. I just need to see. you
Rob's
sign
not
it.
in here, so,
I did.
all right, so we've got a request to apply for
The RIF TAF money in order to get state rebate funds back to pay for some
round
of the trucks.
15 to pay for the truck. That was made by Supervisor Trainer. Got a
Second.
second by Supervisor Montgomery.
We already did receive our approval. We applied for this last time, R14 and 14S, and we are getting $160,000 back in RIF TAP funds from the state that paid for the last trucks. I'm sorry, I should have told y'all that, so that's a good thing. So we are getting $160,000 back from the state that paid for the last two trucks.
Okay, all in favor?
How big is the tank on that truck? Do you know about? Was it
On this truck, it's 1,000 gallon, 1,000-gallon tank, 1,500 pump.
Okay.
It's certified Class A pump. It's just like,
That's a good one.
yeah, it would be just like
Is here.
the commercial
Like
trucks.
4 and then, yeah, mid
Well,
station.
actually, it's bigger than this because those are 750 gallon tanks. Some of
Okay.
them.
That's a pretty good truck. That's a real good truck.
Okay.
It'll last.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. We're gonna go back and pick up Ms. Duval.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lord, for allowing me to come again, and thank you for patiently waiting. Appreciate it. Good evening,
Good
everyone.
evening, good evening.
Well, good news. We are excited that you're gonna help us with this historical plaque. And I just wanna let you know that we have, Rob, we have actually applied for it. We've done the initial application, and I'll provide you with a copy of that. And from that, then you pick it up and you go forward. And then we'll be looking at a plaque in the next hopefully in the next 6 months or so. That will, but of course, we have to work with you with the wording and all of that stuff. But everything is in process. So now we just put it in the hand of the board and get the ball rolling.
And just so that y'all all know, the wording and the documentation, it goes through the state, and the state basically gives us the okay with what's on it. I think what they do is make sure that historically we're not wrong with whatever it is that we put in there. But thank you for doing that. You guys are awesome. We had contacted each other, I guess it was, 3 weeks ago?
Yes, sir.
Or so.
Uh-huh.
And as long as they move forward with it, we're okay to move forward with the payment side of it. They don't pay, the state doesn't pay for it. However, it's okay for us, and it's paid for under the guidelines of tourism / community. It's just like whenever we purchase something in one of the magazines for the county or something like that, very soon.
Great.
Thank you, so I guess we
Thank you.
need, Supervisor Williams, would you like to acknowledge that?
Motion to move forward with the historical signage on East Octavia Hall County School update.
Okay.
Motion to move forward.
Second.
Got a motion by Supervisor Williams, a second by Supervisor Trainer. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Great, thank you very much, and thank you, board. Appreciate it.
And Ms. Phyllis, you're not on the agenda, but I'm gonna put you in right now, if that's okay.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
What are you coming to us about tonight?
I'm working on your ARC application for North Star Industrial Park.
Okay, all right.
To refresh your memory, this is a special pot of money that the Appalachian Regional Commission has. You have been preliminarily approved for $2,719,102 to 719,102, which is a good chunk of change because typically ARC is like $250,000, $300,000. So this is coming out of what we call the SAW grant, which SAAW stands for the Southern Automotive and Aviation Workforce. This is money that was approved up in DC when Cochran was still with us, and there's a little bit of money left in that pot, and the governor has been gracious enough to send a great portion of it your way. It will, ARC is 80% grant because Oktibbeha County is a distressed county. It will require a 20% match, and fortunately the governor has provided that too. And
great.
the source of that is the Mississippi Site Development Grant in the amount of $679,775. So I need you, as part of the application, to acknowledge that that particular match money is in place and it is being committed to the ARC.
So moved.
Okay. So you got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery, a second by Supervisor Williams. Any further discussion? All in favor?
It's good free
Aye.
money.
Can we, I want, before you leave, and one other thing, would you mind? Would it be okay with the board, if we got our attorney to write a thank you to the governor, thanking him for matching the 20% for us? Would that be okay?
Can we
Can
make
I
some
get a
sort of a-
motion to,
Something we can all sign as well.
I'll get it together.
if you'll get something from all of us to sign that we are grateful for him for the match money on, would that be okay with the board if we did that?
Certainly.
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion by Supervisor Williams, a second by Supervisor Montgomery. Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Go ahead.
I can provide you with a copy of the letter that approves this funding if you don't have it. All of this package was presented by the link. Now it's my
Right.
job to come up behind them and actually put the pencil to the paper and make it work so that it can go to DC for approval. So I'll get that for you. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
Governor.
You're welcome.
While you're here, I was gonna bring something later, but while you're here, because it
want me
includes
to
you
stay?
maybe, can I? And
Right
then
now.
I think, here Supervisor Williams, I don't think I haven't given you a copy, or Supervisor
About
Howard
that.
yet. I know Supervisor Trainer's seen it. So this is Skinner Creek, okay? They're doing the creek clean out on it. And this second picture right here, Ms. Phyllis, that's the water line that's running across that creek. And you can see that's catching all of that debris in that creek where it's located. The Water Association, this would be Octot, this particular one. Yes, that's your copy. They called Jackson and they believe that they qualify for some money through the rural water to move that, the possibility to move that pipe. The estimate is about $17,000 and they'll do it. They just need help either with the money, affording to do it, or us getting the money for them. So My question to the board was, would it be a possibility for us to ask Ms. Phyllis to work with the Octok Water Association to see if we can get that pipe moved right there, and that's right there on Poorhouse Road? And I'm sure we'll have more along the way, but Joe Stewart did say that he had contacted Jackson and believed that they were eligible for that money.
They got 300 million.
Huh?
Yeah.
They have 300
So,
million.
you know, if it's okay, I'd like to make a motion, if that's okay, for Phyllis to work with Octok Water to see if we can get the funding to move this pipe.
That's motion and second.
Okay, and Joe Williams is the second one. This is the quote they have right now. They think it's about 17,000 to move it. You know, is there any further discussion? Anybody, any other thoughts from anybody? This is just one of the creeks, but you can see that's a main thing that's trapping the water, is these low water pipes on there.
What grant are we applying for?
It's something out of Jackson with the rural water, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Is it the
Mississippi
rural?
Rural Water. It's with the State Department of Health. It's
They
the
just,
one that-
MDQ.
The State Department, the State Department of Health is the one that has the money for the county, and MDEQ has the money for the city.
Part of the money
So if
that
it's in the
they
city,
legislate.
it's MDEQ.
That's-
But the county is Mississippi State Department of Health.
Who is their engineer?
I
Probably,
don't know that they, I don't.
probably Spratling, Calvin Spratling.
Okay, I'll start with them and see.
Okay, and then while you're here, I'll just show y'all, this is what the creek banks look out like after they've been down them and cleaned them off. I know Supervisor Howard's already had one. But then I wanted to show y'all too, you can see like there was concrete and all types of things in the creek that they cleaned out. And then this is in Skinner Creek, so this is across Poorhouse Road, but I want you to see all the golf balls down here. And they said all of those will be available on public auction when they get them all cleaned out. So, but I want to tell you, that's how far down the creek these golf balls have gotten. They're cross past Poorhouse Road from the golf course. So, I
So
just thought
what
I'd
is the
include that.
motion to allow GTPDD to
Or
apply for the grant? Is that the motion?
we will work with Octok Water Association to prepare a grant application.
Okay.
Or let me begin the process and see where we're going. But yes, I'll be glad to work with them.
Okay, and Joe Stewart be your point of contact and Jack Rhodes. But
okay.
Joe may have called you today.
No,
Or-
but he's called me in the past.
Okay, all right.
Before- And look, I'm for it. I want to do this. But question is, Ms. Phyllis, can you also maybe reach out to some of the other water associations, just countywide? In other words, where if there may be some hang-ups like that, like this, and I know there are in other places, can we apply for something on Brown Road or Old West Point Road or something? Because like you said, they've got $300 million. Why not try for them? So can you reach out to some of the other water associations? I'm sure you have.
We've been, yes, the phone has been ringing.
Yes,
Let
they've
me
been
just
coming
say
to you,
that.
yeah.
Yes, and we are working with some of the local engineers because they are already on top of this. They have been,
Yeah.
I think, actually part of the planning
Right.
process with the state Board of Health and DEQ. And so,
Yes.
and we've talked with the district representative for the water associations, Scooter Lockhart, and we'll get more on top of it.
Yeah, their engineer should be working up some plans now because it just came into effect the 1st of July.
But
Yes,
they
sir.
don't act like it's a hard thing to do. They act
Right.
like it's something that they can easily do. They just
Yeah.
need the funds to do it, was what
To
I experienced.
correct the problem.
Yeah, all they've got to do is they actually
lower the
take that and they put it
We'll do a
under,
boring.
they bore it under. Now, there is 2 pipes on that creek. There's one right up there next to the golf course, but where it is, there's not the amount of trees and debris, because it's coming off that residential area, so it doesn't catch. But this one's further down the creek. This one's past the bridge on Poorhouse Road, so it's catching a lot of debris right there. And I'm sure there's others, so that's a great idea.
Okay.
You mentioned phones been ringing. Senator Williams is working with Center Grove? And Ronnie?
I've had some calls, yes. Not just Ottawa County either. We serve 7. So, yes. So we, like everyone else, have just now been informed of what is available, the process. In fact, George and I will be participating in a webinar next week and then an in-person meeting a few weeks later. And there is a process that we have to go through, and I just need to touch base. If any of you have been contacted by any water associations, make sure that they call either myself or George Crawford, and we'll follow up. Right now we're working with the engineers, and they will have to have an engineer involved. So that's not something that they can bypass. From what I can tell, it's not just a difficult application, but it will require pulling together a great deal of information.
Right.
Certainly, it could be a benefit.
So, yes, we'll be glad to be of service.
Mr. President, if you will, part of the plans that we have on the table now with the Water Association that I'm working with is to replace the line on Poorhouse Road. And I want you all to be familiar with the fact that Poorhouse Road has a 2-inch line. Now, when that road is paved, you're going to find more and more individuals who want to live there, and a 2-inch line is not going to provide enough water.
Longview Road?
That's Longview.
Okay.
That's Longview,
Okay.
right. So if you got any, our engineers working on it, Kevin Spratlin is working on that. So if you would be in communication with him and see what you can do to move that project forward.
Okay. All right.
All right, so I think we had a motion and a second. Did we, all in favor? Okay, that passed 5-0. All right.
Okay.
Do you need anything else from us, Ms. Phyllis? Okay.
No,
Well, I appreciate that.
I do have an invoice from the Golden Triangle Planning and Development District on the current phase of the ARC grant that we have going out there, but it's not something that I got to you earlier. So do you want me to present it now or wait till the beginning of next month?
Well, in 2 weeks, we'll put it on the agenda. Is
Okay.
that okay? You'll
Sure,
just give it
that's
to Ms.
fine.
Farmer, and we'll put it on the agenda and have it on there.
Okay. All right. And there is one thing I'd like to mention to y'all, since Poorhouse Road has been brought up.
A Longview.
Well,
Longview Police.
Well, this year, many years ago, y'all received a grant from ARC to pave Poorhouse Road, and
I did the presentation to Mabel Murphy.
Mhm.
Don Posey brought her out there.
And you know that you've redone the road since then. And there is an intern at ARC Washington right now that is looking at old projects, and that one came up. And he has engaged me twice to talk about that project. And you think whenever you do it, you'll remember it forever. Well, he asked a lot of questions that I could not bring up, but that's okay. But I think most of the projects that they are accustomed to seeing in DC are like big industrial type projects, and Poorhouse Road is, as you mentioned, very important to Ottawa County. And he said, yeah, but the horse park is really the only thing. I said, no, it has really opened up that side of the county. So I just want you to remember, anytime that you seek federal funds, you're never really finished with the project. Yeah. But I thought it was interesting that was one of like 15 projects that they looked at.
That is, and if you need any statistics and stuff, I can give you all of that, because I still actually have the presentation that I did for Mabel Murphy when she was with the ARC office. And Don Posey called me and said, will you do this? We're trying to get a grant to pave Poorhouse Road. And when she left the meeting, the presentation, she said, you need a paved road. So it was, and look at all the subdivisions that have developed and everything else
Sure.
since then. And not just that, the Wi-Fi and even the natural gas. I mean, there's so much development out there, it's just, it's amazing.
I think Longview is the one that's in question now. Cause we pretty much finished
Thank you,
with.
Supervisor
Yes, sir.
Craig.
Thank you. Y'all have a great
All
night.
right, man, be careful.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Phillips.
may be down a little bit.
Mr. Baggett? Got 1 month rental on something you wanna talk about?
Yeah, piece of equipment.
Okay,
We have about 60 working days left in the good part of the construction season. We had a mini hole that was damaged. We need to rent a mini hole. On the mini hose, there's a cylinder that controls the arm, and the cylinder, the strength of the cylinder exceeds the strength of the arm. And so if you grab something, the cylinder's gonna push it, and the arm will walk. So it's the second time we've had this to occur. And so that's one reason we have to, I'm requesting to rent this mini hoe.
so the damage to the mini hoe in the past, are we doing whatever we need to do to correct, to make sure that we don't, because it hasn't been that long that we purchased all of those new mini hoes for,
Yeah.
you know, to be used, so. I mean, if there's any safety things that we need to do, are we addressing any of that?
Yeah, we addressed all the safety issues and the operating issues. Actually, it's kind of a design flaw.
Oh, okay.
When you design something, you design it to fail a certain way. And so that cylinder should fail prior to that arm failing. And so, you know, when an operator picks it up, the last thing you think about is that huge arm warping because of the amount of steel in it. But that little cylinder they put on there is so strong until you go to lift the tree up and it starts up, and all of a sudden the arm warps.
It's
the motor
not abuse, it's just the design.
And the motor doesn't go down to anything.
Does that not
Just
cover that in our, I'm asking, does it not cover that in our warranty with the
well,
machine?
we kicked that back and forth the last time, and they said no.
Can they not do something to the machine to kind of modify it to where it won't do that in the future?
I don't know. I'll check.
I know
and see.
Kubota had a problem like that, and there was some sort of a fitting you could put on there, almost like a
Oh, okay.
regulator per se.
Yeah.
In other words, it was a,
It would fail.
and I'm no hydraulicist, you know, I'm just saying that they had something that would correct that.
Yeah.
And you can see it on the fittings now. It's just a,
I'll check on that and see. They should have.
I would think a Caterpillar,
Yeah.
but
The first time it happened, we knocked it back and forth for about 3 weeks, and they said they wasn't gonna pay, and they didn't, and so we needed the machine, and we proceeded with having it fixed.
Okay, well, you've heard the request, and it's to, rent the mini hoe for
So
a
moved.
month, and so
Second.
Supervisor Howard makes the motion on that, Supervisor Montgomery seconds that.
And
Any
vote?
further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
We also have a packer, a vibrator packer for the mechanical conditioning of the subgrade of the roads that we're building. And the reason we're renting that is that we have two, but one is old and it's in and out of the shop. And when it's in the shop, it requires 3 to 5 weeks to get it back out. And so we need to rent this one.
where are you gonna be working at with that?
We're gonna get it through the 911. I checked with purchasing. She said we could get it, we could do the PO of the 911 line item. And then we could use it wherever we needed to on new construction roads only. And when we do the capitalization, it would be applied to the area of the district that should be applied to relative to the
The use of it?
relative to the new construction, no, 4-year road plan.
Yeah, what will it do? I don't understand.
It's just a packer.
A packer? Oh, okay, you pack the road, make it hard for pavement.
On the clay gravel
Yeah, playground.
and 610 material.
So you
Yeah.
got a request.
We gotta have it, don't we?
Yeah.
To
So
rent,
moved.
okay, got a, motion made by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery, to do that. Any further discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Can I ask about the clipping? When are we gonna start cutting grass?
Some of them have already started. I know B and C have started.
Now I don't know if it's possible, but on Pleasant Ridge Road, Highway 12 Pleasant Ridge Road, they've got a revival coming up at that church.
Oh, okay.
And they just asked, could we clip from the church back to 12 for the revival?
We can.
If we're in the area, okay?
You can click it.
I'd like to make sure I get this motion correct. You're renting a sub-packer for use on the new construction roads, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. It's a sheep's foot roller. Sheep's foot roller.
Sheep?
Yeah, sheep.
So that means it's got the little things on it.
Looks like sheep foot.
It's not smooth. Well, they come smooth and they come cheap, but
They really used to take sheep and herd them around to pack foundations. Seriously. That's why, seriously.
I think I got
I
it.
thought it did this right here. It doesn't roll. does it? It rolls.
And vibrates.
It
It does that, but so you can't see it. But anyway.
did. Okay.
Now, on the, do I need to bring up the purchasing of the equipment?
New construction roads.
The equipment, the last time the board agreed to purchase some items, and I spoke with purchasing, and she was holding the POs because apparently there was some ambiguity between the order and the actual board meeting. In other words, I requested like 3 ditchers, and there was only 1, and 3 trucks, and there was only 1, and so we just need to fix that.
Tell me
The
what you
board-
need, Will.
I'm sorry.
Just tell me what you need, Will. Read.
Okay, I need
3 ditches.
well, if you already got one, we need to take out that
2
one and
more.
make the order for the other 2.
Right.
that's right.
Okay, so
The same with
tell us
the-
what the order needs to be on each thing, please.
2 ditcher heads.
2 ditcher heads?
Yeah, that's what it's
Those
called.
attachments.
2 ditcher heads for secondary boom, and 2 class 4 dump trucks. Those are the small utility 450 Ford dump trucks.
I move we allow
You have to,
purchase.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. go ahead.
There was a discrepancy in where we're getting them from too. Can you clarify
Okay.
where we're gonna purchase them from?
Okay, the trucks, the class 4 dump trucks are coming from Burroughs Diesel.
Where?
Burroughs. And the ditchers are coming from Covington Sales and Service.
And the motion's made by Supervisor Howard. I need a second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Anything else, Mr. Baker?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Ms. Bagley.
Yes, sir.
I like your time. Ms. Glass.
Court day.
Look, it's 50 tonight.
Well, I appreciate it. It's court day, so we got a trial going on. I appreciate y'all letting me come before y'all tonight. Over the past year or so, Kristen and I have been trying to find solutions to a problem that we've had really for the past 20 years or so. And that's with the integration of our data systems between 911, fire, law, med. Currently, we all use different systems. Just to give you an example, the current system that the Sheriff's Department used was purchased in 2000. The current system that 911 uses was purchased in 2005. They have not kept up with the technologies that's gone forward, nor the requirements that we have to meet today with data restriction, data retention, and data distribution for one. We have been looking for a solution to try to bring us all together under the same umbrella, as happens usually in most public safety settings. Just something we've never been able to do before. What we're asking y'all is to allow us to move forward with a request for proposals to replace those systems with something that is integrated, that will allow us to all get on the same platform finally.
Yes.
And I know you're familiar, probably as familiar with as anybody, in the issues that come along with it. Just to give y'all an example of some of the things that we hope to accomplish right now, and I'm just going to speak from the sheriff's department side of it. Right now, when a sheriff's deputy goes to anywhere in the county to take a report, they drive to take that report, they take notes, they get in their car, they drive back to the sheriff's department for every single report to put that report in our system. They have no way to get that back other than the drive time. With gas at $4 and $5 a gallon right now, that is costing the county a lot. There is no way to move data to the deputies real time as they respond to a call. Those capabilities are coming in through 911 Center now. Where you can move data a lot faster. They're going to have a lot more information available to them about dangers before they ever get to the call. Our current systems will not allow that to happen. Our current Crime Star jail management system was designed for a small jail. We are still a small jail, but the reporting requirements that we're having to give out to various government agencies to maintain our compliance with different grants and with different federal court orders is getting to the point where it's costing jail administrative work, not minutes of work day, but hours of work day every single day to get those reporting requirements out. The systems that we have looked at so far integrate all of this. Plus, it finally gives the Sheriff's Department the opportunity to have mobile CAD in their car, so we can move toward a voiceless dispatching, real-time dispatching. We can see the information as they bring it up, and we can send it back to them as we bring it up. That also includes the integration of our body cams, so that all of those are uploaded automatically rather than spending the time to do it video by video, and gives our prosecutors the opportunity to see all of that on our system, saving time for the deputies, or actually the investigators, spending hours and hours and hours copying files to send to them. So the capabilities that are out there now far exceed what we currently have. We've found 3 companies so far that we believe meet our needs, but we're asking for y'all to allow us to seek final proposals for them to bring back to you at a later date for your possible approval.
You heard the request. Supervisor Montgomery makes the motion.
I'll make the
Supervisor
motion.
Howard seconds that for you to go out and give the request for proposals and bring the proposals back to the board for final approval. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Livingston?
The only thing I have is to acknowledge the affidavit of publication that we did at the Clare and Ledger for districts 1, 2, and 5 road improvements.
So,
Got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard, to acknowledge the publications that we did in Clare and Ledger for 1, 2, and 5 for road improvements. 1, District 1, 2, and 5 for road improvements. Right? I was just letting him catch up. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Ms. Farmer, I think we can group all these together if you want to.
For county business, I have number 1 through 13. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
I'll make motion to approve. Go ahead. Items 1 through 13.
I don't understand that. I don't quite understand that one. It wasn't in, I didn't see something.
You didn't have a copy in your packet? That's for
might
us to
have.
receive the Maven Sturgis.
Yeah, okay.
One, that's what that is.
To receive it, then, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah, we don't want to turn your money down.
What now?
We don't want to turn your
The
money
testing.
No.
And was
That's good.
13, what was 13? Okay, I do have some questions
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
Number-
go 1 through
excuse me.
12.
1 through 12, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see
I do
that
have
one.
some questions about that.
Yeah, let me amend that to 1 through 12.
Extra bus turnaround.
What's your agenda say?
It was in our.
So y'all agenda say 1 through 12?
No,
No.
no, we want
motion.
to amend,
On-
we want to have a discussion about 13. So 1 through 12.
I got
On
Yeah,
13,
12.
1 through 12 approval.
No, it's a 13.
On mine, I got 13.
It's a 13.
Oh, I didn't get
Okay.
that.
Not his too.
Okay.
All right, so number 13, I'm
All
gonna
right,
ask.
so wait,
Can
let
we
me
go
back
ahead-
up.
go ahead and carry
One
that?
through 12, we got a motion by
Yeah, you got
Supervisor,
some
Montgomery to
Second.
That is the
approve
one.
1 through 12, and a second by Supervisor Howard.
Wait a minute.
1 through 12, that's leaving off the Felix Long.
Just for the
Number 12 on this is Felix Long for me, though.
That's
Oh,
what mine
Yeah,
is.
that's right.
See, that's
Okay.
what mine is too.
Well, here you can have mine.
All right,
You
I'll
can-
trade with you.
Okay,
Here's the.
Never mind, I got it.
okay,
Thank you.
all right,
Give that to Miss Barbara, so she can have the.
all right, so
I gave you mine.
1 through 12, and we've got a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion passes 4-0 on that, okay, and then any discussion on number 13?
So 13, I did have a question, is, I mean, I'm asking anybody, is this, to tear the thing down? I mean,
No, this is just to do testing of what's in the building. So when we put out the bids, we will know if there's the possibility of,
something in it,
yes,
asbestos.
they may have to be canvassed.
So what is the,
So I spoke with Ron at Major Design because there's a big difference in the quotes. And he submitted the same information to everyone, so they understand they're just coming in to test, to see what's actually in the building. So when we do put out the, bids for the demolition, we can say the building does contain this, or the building does not contain this.
But on here, how much is the cost for that? I don't understand.
it doesn't show it.
It's these.
I don't have those.
I have.
It was mentioned somewhere about 8% of the total cost of it.
No, that's something separate,
That's
that's
separate.
major design.
So Pickering is doing this too?
It starts with, you would have three, it's one quote from
see
Environmental
it.
Management Plus. You got one quote from Pickering Services, and another quote from Environmental Evolution and Control.
I didn't see any of that. Yeah, I guess that was my question. I didn't see any of these. I haven't seen any of those.
None of them
Yes,
using how
that.
I
Uh-oh.
guess this is
That
mine,
is
right?
this.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
it.
Yes,
it.
that's
They
it.
were put in
You
there.
got it.
Yeah, they
That's it.
yeah.
And these are the
Not
three
this
quotes.
is the COVID guidelines, but they're all together.
Well, I know this was put in a pack
Yeah, they're
late,
all
so, I
together.
mean, we can table it until next time so everybody has a chance to look at this. If, you know, because I know this was added late on the,
But-
agenda. I think there's been some, I mean, I didn't know exactly what it was too by reading this.
What has to happen
There's
is,
something.
anytime before you demolition a building, you have to go in and pull a certain number of samples. You pull samples for asbestos, you pull samples for lead, you pull samples for mold, and then you send all of these samples to the lab. They don't really know what the lab is gonna cost to test these samples.
The paperclip out there's 3 different.
So when you get your results back, they'll put all of that in the quote for demolition of the building. So they'll know if they gotta go in and remove asbestos or remove lead or, so forth and so on. So that's what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask, did we do when we did the board order, we requested this for quotes on this?
Yeah, we initially asked them to get us quotes
Right.
for the demolition.
Right.
But this is only to have it tested to make sure there's no hazardous material
Gotta do this.
before they come in and start
You
tearing it
got,
down.
you
Yeah.
can't skip
You
that
gotta,
step.
you gotta do that.
You gotta do this before
You
do
gotta
that.
test it, you gotta test the bill and see
Okay.
whether or not that.
I understand, so now I'm gonna ask this question. We see the different prices on here, and some of them are real high, some
Yeah,
of them are real
some of
low.
'em, that's
My
right.
question is, do we also pay MDS?
MDS is the contract that we need to go into with Major Design to oversee the demolition of the building.
I will propose this. And it's lost its luster. but a lot of people were born in that building. So in other words, can we, before we just knock it down to the ground, consider kind of the historic value of it? No different than the lady who came up here about Moore High. You know, there were, I mean, a lot of people that still are walking around today were born in that hospital. To be able to do something with, say, some of the facade, the brickwork, right? To say something to give homage to Felix Long, before we just tear it down and put it in a bag and haul it away.
Do you need time for review? Attorney
I
Robinson?
think it would be beneficial for, well, there's two issues going on here. Let me make sure I'm correct in what I'm
We have two
saying.
different situations.
Yeah.
We have a contract for major design that the county will go into contract with them to oversee the testing as well as the demolition of the building. And in the contract, they're telling you what the percentage will be based on the cost and everything.
It's 8% of the construction
Yeah.
cost, so they're gonna get 8% of whatever we
I can
pick on
put-
this.
If you want to table this, I can have them to come.
I
to the
would
next-
love for them to come on the 8% too. That would be.
Because I don't understand, like,
When they came.
my question is, are we paying, we're paying this group and we're also paying this group for the testing?
No, you're paying just.
Well, if they're
those who put
overseeing-
in the quotes for the testing.
Yeah.
But we're going in contract with them to oversee the whole project.
I would like to say, have them come though and table this and have them come speak with us, because
Okay.
I do remember they came and said it was a lot lower than 8%
Yeah.
when they came, if I'm thinking right. The gentleman that came here said they were a lot lower than that. So I
If
would-
that's kind of high for
Okay.
engineering costs, I don't know.
Well, if that's agreeable with everybody,
I thought that was-
we'll table it till next board meeting and allow us to,
Definitely don't need it.
get some more information on it, and some more research and have them come.
I would
before
also
us.
like to, when they do come forward, I'm gonna ask them, you know, what can be done to say some of the brickwork there, to maybe repurpose it into some sort of a memorial for the building itself.
I do think a lot of people aren't aware that we're gonna knock that building down. When people have asked that question and I've said that, it's thrown a lot of people off guard. Y'all are gonna knock down the old hospital. So I think we need to do if we need to have some kind of, I don't know necessarily a
hearing.
public hearing or anything, but just something to
'Cause
allow
I've-
people to have their
yeah.
voice in it. We may need to consider that as well.
I've had a
Yeah,
lot of
but
people that are saying,
Personally, I think it's time.
Well,
It's time for us to move forward, because that building been there too long, and it's taking the place of progress that could be done much better. A building that could be put there that better use. I've gone through that building, and it really doesn't serve any purpose.
oh, I'm not saying the
for
building
today.
serves any purpose, yeah. But-
Everything is outdated. Everything is outdated, so it does need to be, it need to be demolished.
So the motion was to table the contracts for major design and the environmental studies, and who made that motion?
I'll make.
Supervisor Montgomery made the motion, and bring them to the
Bring them
board.
for us, and no different than Moore High, you know, I think we need to be considerate of the historical value and presence that it's had in this community.
Okay, so we've got a motion. I need a second for that. Second by Supervisor Williams to table until next meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
But time is important. We should be moving forward on our planning and moving forward with that, putting accountability at that site. Let's move forward as quick as we
With
can.
y'all's permission, I'll find out if there's a potential to get a sign and some
Something.
historical, I mean, I think to your point.
Because
there's
it
probably a-
didn't hit me in my age group, but I know when I have come in contact with some,
There's a way
say
to do
older
this to be
individuals that were
respectful.
born there, and they said, "Oh, you're gonna knock that thing
My
down."
brother was born there, I get it.
Yeah, without any, you know what I'm saying, without any consideration to the history of it.
We're going out.
Showing my age here.
Showing my age, we'll be
No,
at home
well, good deal. All right, so next up on the agenda is county business.
with the midnight.
County
Just,
attorney, county
just to
business.
give y'all a little update, I'll be meeting with the attorney, hopefully this week. I texted him and let me see if he responded. I'm gonna try to meet with him. There's a discussion about possibly, having a meeting to discuss, instead of having the lake issue go to a trial type scenario, it possibly could be done through mitigation, and you end up having someone come in and mitigate that. I'm having discussions with the attorney on the other side. So that is discussions that's going on. That's all, the only part of the update I can give y'all right now, because there's nothing actually been put in play for that. I'm certain there's other things I probably need to tell y'all, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I should have wrote it down. The reality is that was the only major thing that's going on right now.
Okay. Nothing else?
I don't need to.
Okay, and then Ms. Farmer put on here about the transportation study too. She had sent you a link. You know, this is just a follow-up from that transportation study that we saw. And the link, of course, is thousands of pages. And so they were requesting any type of feedback on it. I know when she sent out the email, Supervisor Trainer recommended that we look at hiring somebody to do a transportation study for the county, where I do think that that would be very beneficial for especially the next group of supervisors. You know, there again, it would be something that the next term of supervisors would have to decide if they wanted to use it for their 4-year road plan. So I don't know if now is the right time to do it or not, but that's something that was discussed. So maybe that's something that we look at in the future too.
Yeah.
How long do you think a study like that would take?
I don't know, but I can get some details and bring it back next time. I'll find out too about I know the DEQ did some of that along with Neil Schaefer, and see what the opportunities would be on that. I don't know that, I think maybe we would, they wouldn't maybe do every single road, but maybe major corridors or something like that, you know, in areas.
So can we make a motion to request some proposals to hire somebody to do a countywide transportation study? Because we just looking for proposals to hire somebody possibly to do a countywide transportation study. That's what Supervisor Trainer was wanting.
Just get some ideas.
Request for proposals to see, to do a countywide transportation study.
Which I think that would be a good thing to know how much it would cost. I think if we would have had it the first of this term, that would have been very beneficial any term. So I think that is good to know the numbers. So
You made the motion. I'll
Supervisor
second
Howard
that.
made the motion, do RFP, request for proposals, to see what it would cost from different groups to do a transportation study in the county. Got a second? I need a second, please?
I second.
Supervisor Montgomery seconded that. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Are we having a budget hearing this week?
We need to set a date.
Okay, because before we'll go county business and then, but if y'all, we need to set up, postpone the meeting for the budget hearing too. I just want to put that on y'all. Supervisor Howard, did you have anything?
No, I'm good.
County business?
I'm good.
Okay, Supervisor Williams, do you have anything county business?
Do we have anything to go into executive session with?
Not that I know of. No, she did come.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so.
Well, I do have
I'm
something.
sorry, go ahead.
I do have something. At the last board meeting, I made the motion to adopt 2 roles in Supervisor Trainer's district. But I guess in my own mind, I was led to believe that that's what he wanted. In fact, he did send a text message to that effect, that was something that he's in favor of. And I know Ms. Farmer addressed that situation with me prior to the meeting. So I guess in my mind, I was thinking that that's really something he wanted to take place. A 4-year road plan is pretty sensitive. I wouldn't want anyone to make a recommendation unless I would approve it within District 5. So I was under the impression that that's something he was recommending. So my motion is that I want to amend the motion that I made to read that upon Supervisor Trainer recommendation, I motion that those roads be added to his 4-year road plan. And I was under the impression that that's what he wanted. I talked to him about it. He still think it's okay, but I don't think that I should be the one to make that recommendation unless it's coming from him. And it was my understanding that it was coming from him.
Okay, so your motion is to amend the motions that you made about the 4-year road plan, just for clarification that you only did that because of his request.
Upon his request.
Upon his request, wants to clarify that he didn't add roads to Supervisor Trainer's 4-year road plan, that these were upon his request.
Right.
The 2 roads that were added. Do you remember what those 2 roads were?
Adam Lane and Jordan Lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one is already on, I believe one is already on the 4-year road plan.
In Jordan, but I've heard Orlando say dozens of times, or a bunch of times,
Yeah.
you can amend the 4-year road plan anytime you want to, so he didn't like it, he would.
Right.
So we're adding this language that
Adding
this
the
was upon.
language. Upon Supervisor Trader's request, I motion that those roads be added to his 4-year road plan.
Okay, well, you've heard the motion. I need a second, please. Well, I'll second it.
Yeah.
That he wants to change the.
I'm not clear exactly with you. You're saying you'll make the motion to add these to his 4-year road plan.
Upon his request.
But upon his request.
Right.
To approve or request I'm just.
We approved them last board meeting.
Yeah, we approved it.
And
And
Supervisor
he made
Trainer
the
wasn't
motion,
here.
and remember, Supervisor Trainer wasn't here when we did
You
it.
just wanted to say it was requested by Supervisor Trainer.
Yeah, through,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't think he's got a
Yeah,
problem.
I shouldn't be the one
Really
to
don't think
just
he'd be
straight
sensitive about it.
out make that recommendation concerning his 4-year road plan unless it's noted that that was his request. So, in fact, I asked Ms. Foreman to send me that text message stating that too. So, that was something that he wanted. Now I can
Okay, all right, so, what he
I
wants to do
mean,
is just amend.
he wanted it, we motioned it, we
Okay,
passed
so
it.
all he wants to do is amend the motion
Basically states that
that it
If
was
he didn't
per.
like it, he'd bring it up next board meeting
per-
and say,
yes,
let's
per
change it back
Supervisor
every
Trainer's
year.
request.
upon Supervisor
Trainer's
Trainer's
request, we got a
just
motion,
at the
Mr. Ruff,
beginning.
and I seconded it,
Okay.
because he would
Yeah.
wants to amend it where it's
Okay.
clarified.
We're good.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay. Now our budget hearing, because we wanna, we need to,
I can do it any day but Thursday this week.
okay, so I can do Thursday, but I can't do Friday.
And Orlando can't do either day.
So we can call in, do
So
we
what
wanna,
about the
do we
following
wanna try to
week?
set up
I'm
the
gonna-
next week,
I'll
or?
be out
You'll
of
be
town
gone
next week.
next week.
I'll be in Arkansas.
When is the latest you need to start?
So this is just the initial hearing where I present to you what everybody wants. And once you approve that, it'll just give me a shorter window to come back for the
Okay.
second time.
What about tomorrow or Wednesday?
Oh, no. That's not gonna work.
What about Monday of the week after?
That'll be our next board meeting.
But
Can
can
we
do it
come
that
early and
Tuesday.
do it, stay late? It's at 9 o'clock, our next board meeting.
And we can do it that afternoon.
We could adjourn,
Okay,
eat lunch,
and then
and put that
come
in.
back, yeah.
That'll work?
Yeah.
What time will work for you all that Monday afternoon?
we'll just, like Supervisor Montgomery said, join for lunch and come back, be back 1:30.
Well, maybe our agenda won't be that long, and we'll be done at 10, and
If that'll work, we can
brunch and
always
come back.
keep rolling.
Now we're thinking. I like that.
Well, just be mindful, this meeting, the department heads will come as well, so I kinda need to tell them what
I
time.
get you.
Ahead of time.
Let's
So
just
we better say
join
1:30.
and then come back at 1:30.
1:30, okay, 1:30.
Okay, so right now, we're just gonna, I need a
August
motion to
1st.
adjourn until our next meeting then, since that will be
August the 1st.
August the 1st, wow.
Coming on along, ain't it, guys?
At 9 o'clock, I need a motion to adjourn until August the
So
1st
moved.
at 1 o'clock. Got Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor?
Ah,
Meeting passed 4-0.
all right.
Thank y'all. See you August 1st.
See you, Mark. Y'all be safe.